This is Daily Armenia, CivilNet's daily news digest. Here's what you need to know today. A meeting today of Armenia and Azerbaijan's border delimitation commissions resulted in a joint statement announcing that, for the first time, parts of the state border between the two countries have been agreed upon. According to the office of Prime Minister Nikol Pashinyan, the borders between a number of villages in the northeastern Tavush region, including Voskepar, Kirans, and Berkaber, have been set to follow Soviet-era lines. Pashinyan visited these villages earlier this week to discuss the demarcation process and address their fears that vital roads and infrastructure could be handed over to Azerbaijan. These sections in question do not pass over any of those roads, and now must be delimited on the ground and signed off on by May 15th. The Center for Truth and Justice, a US-based nonprofit, has formally asked the International Criminal Court to investigate Azerbaijan's leaders for genocide, marking the first such petition to the Hague Tribunal since Armenia joined earlier this year. In a more than 100-page submission, CFTJ outlines the vast array of atrocities carried out by Azerbaijan within Armenia's internationally recognized borders since it first began occupying swaths of the country nearly 3 years ago, the organization said in a press release yesterday. CFTJ is asking the ICC to open a preliminary examination of the evidence to evaluate whether there is a reasonable basis for a formal investigation of Azerbaijani President Ilham Aliyev and others accused of planning, inciting, ordering, and executing a state policy of genocide against Armenians. There was no timeline made immediately available for the ICC to examine the petition by the CFTJ, which was founded in the immediate aftermath of the 2020 Nagorno-Karabakh war and gathers first-hand testimonial evidence of alleged atrocities. Also in The Hague, the separate International Court of Justice is holding public hearings this week in a case Armenia brought against Azerbaijan alleging violations of a racial discrimination prevention treaty. Armenia's foreign ministry denied rumors spread by Azerbaijan that military agreements were reached at the April 5th Armenia-EU-US summit in Brussels. According to a spokesperson, the Brussels meeting was about Armenia's resilience and diversification of the economy. The entire agenda of the issues discussed in Brussels is expressed in the joint press release released after the meeting. Any statement made outside the agenda of the press release is false. There was no secret agenda at the Brussels meeting. Earlier yesterday, spokesperson for the Russian Foreign Ministry Maria Zakharova stated that Moscow expects a denial from Yerevan on the rumors, in particular the allegation that Russian troops stationed in Armenia will be removed. Azerbaijan insisted in the run-up to the summit that there was a military aspect to it, while the participants maintained it was only of an economic and humanitarian nature. The issue was revived this week when a semi-official Azerbaijani account on X posted details of the alleged military agreements made. Armenia, the EU, and US have all described it as a forgery. Zakharova also accused the West of using Armenia as a tool to ignite a new big fire in the region. Yerevan has stated that its developing relationship with the West is not directed against any other countries. During the press conference, Zakharova welcomed what she called a special program developed by the Azerbaijani authorities for the reintegration of Nagorno-Karabakh residents. Continuing, she said Armenians of Karabakh should have the opportunity to return, provided their rights and security are properly ensured, and noted that the issue of their return should be separate from those who fled Armenia and Azerbaijan in the late 1980s and early 1990s. Caucasus Heritage Watch has determined through satellite imagery that the St. John the Baptist Church, also known as Kanach Zham, located in the Nagorno-Karabakh town of Shushi, has been destroyed. The research program called it Azerbaijan's most egregious violation yet of a December 2021 International Court of Justice order, which stipulated Azerbaijan take all necessary measures to prevent and punish acts of vandalism and destruction affecting Armenian cultural heritage. The church was built by Armenians in 1847 and was destroyed around February. During this same period, Azerbaijan also demolished more recent structures, including memorials, statues, and the Nagorno-Karabakh parliament building. At the end of the 2020 war, videos revealed that the church's steeples were gone, believed by observers to have occurred after Azerbaijan captured the town. Further damage was observed in the months that followed. An Azerbaijani news outlet claimed the church was not Armenian but Russian, and was undergoing renovation. The destruction reconfirms fears that Armenian cultural heritage is not safe under Azerbaijan. And finally, the CivilNet number of the day is 4000. That's the approximate number of Armenian cultural heritage monuments in Artsakh, such as churches, fortresses, and khachkars now endangered under Azerbaijani control. And as always, please follow CivilNet for the latest news and independent reporting from our contributors on the ground here in Armenia.